raven heads, and you could see the hands at the bottom that come together, and he called this one protection. And for his people, the raven is very significant and is known as a protector. He says that there are the hands and arms wrapped around the raven, symbolizing children, and it's to portray the protection that will be provided by this organization, but we want to share it with you. Chose ravens to represent the children because in Salish mythology, ravens are symbols of change in life and transformation. And I think that's the essence of what we want to do, is transform the kind of practices, policies, and laws that we need for our children. Think of a metaphor that represents for you how we care for children, but also think about something that helps us to bring it into action. How are we going to bring this into action? What's going to work for us? What do we need to do? I don't really want to focus on what the barriers are or what the challenges are, but when we think of the raven and the protection, that's what we're doing right now. And we're going to see, for example, in the classrooms and when we go into community, that the knowledge that is there, the indigenous knowledge that is there, the ceremony, the prayer that we have, this matters. This is a part of our professional and academic life. So how do we make it into action? So now I'll pass it on to each table to think about a metaphor or a logo that will represent caring for our children and how we bring it into action.
Our discussion was about listening and watching, observing.
We did ours on, back in the day, people fishing with a dip net and drying, and an old woman sewing a pine needle basket and telling a story to her grandkids.
And on the edges, this is where people would sleep and keep their tools and things that are important.
What we said is that the families are the expert of their own lives. We have to come down from up here and join the families in the sunset and kind of start where they are.
I actually drew little people while I was sitting there to represent that it's the community that uplifts all these things and keeps them alive. It's the community's responsibility. Underneath that, we have a pipe with the eagle feathers as well, relating back to tradition and back to ceremony to keep the community strong enough to uphold basically the way of life that's represented in the turtle.
The stuff around the wall is the